Begin today's practice in a comfortable seated position. So maybe that's sitting cross-legged, maybe you're up onto your knees, or sitting on a block or pillow. Just finding a manner in which you can sit where you're comfortable, the shoulders stacked above the hips, tall spine. Bring a gentle tuck into the chin to lengthen up the back of your neck, while still maintaining your gaze forward. You can keep the eyes opened or you can choose to close them. And as you sit up tall, just draw your awareness to the breath. Noticing the breath as it moves in and out through your nose. Follow the breath in through the nose, down the throat, as it fills your lungs and belly. And on the exhale, empty the lungs completely. And see if you're able to slow the process of the exhale. Become aware of the feet, their relationship with the rest of your body, their location in space, and any points of contact between feet and floor. And releasing through the legs, the calves, the thighs. Find softness through the knees and hips. Draw the belly button and lower ribs in towards the spine, active through the core. Using that core strength to support you to keep a tall spine, protecting the low back. Take a few gentle rotations through the shoulders, lifting the shoulders up towards the ears and back behind you. The next time they lift up, take a big inhale. As you exhale, roll the shoulders back and down onto your back, settling them into stillness. Creating distance between the shoulders and the ears. Just find some stillness. Tuning out any sounds around you. Letting go of any external distractions that may be pulling you off your mat today. Each breath in, creating a sense of openness, spaciousness through the body. Each breath out, really grounding you here on your mat. In this moment of time. You can slowly blink the eyes open. Start to take some gentle rotations through the upper body. Rotating in the opposite direction. Find some stillness. If you're sitting cross-legged, it's a perfect opportunity to cross the legs in the opposite direction. Return to sitting up tall. Hands on the knees or at your sides, whichever you prefer. We'll take a big breath in, reach the fingertips out to the sides and up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, let the palms come to touch as they meet in front of your heart. Big breath in, reach out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in, reach out and up. Exhale, hands to heart. 2 more times, following your own rhythm of breath. Landing with the hands at the heart, take a full cycle of breath. On the inhale, reach up. Exhale, right hand comes to the floor beside you, left fingertips reach up to the sky and over to the right. Stay open through the chest, so oftentimes here the left shoulder tries to creep forward and down towards the mat. Stay open. Lifting the chest, lifting the left shoulder back behind you slightly as you reach the left fingertips up and over to the right. Creating length up your left side body. Breathing space between the ribs. Come up all the way. On an exhale, right hand to the left knee, left hand comes behind you, find a twist, gaze over the left shoulder. Think about lengthening through the spine first, and then as you exhale, deepening the twist starting from above the belly button. As the upper portion of your body starts to twist to the left, so you can keep the belly button reaching towards the front and center. Come back through center. Give the shoulders a bit of a roll in both directions. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand comes towards the mat, right fingertips reach up and over to the left. Really ground down through your right hip here. Think about drawing the midsection of your right ribs up towards the ceiling as though someone's dragging you by your shirt. Keep the left shoulder drawn into its joint away from the left ear, so it's not creeping up, slouching into it. Back through center. On an exhale, left hand comes to the right knee, right hand comes behind you, find your twist. Use the fingertips behind you either on the floor or your low back to find length through your spine. Then gently twist to the right, never being forceful. Think about guiding the belly button towards the front of your mat as the upper portion of your torso twists to the right. Come back through center. Roll up the shoulders in both directions. Extend the legs long. Give them a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe pointing and flexing through the toes, drawing some circles with the feet in both directions. And then finding your way into a tabletop position. With the shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees, we'll move through a few cat and cows. So as you inhale, lift your tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On the exhale, tuck the tailbone, rounded spine, chin to chest, gaze to the belly button. Inhale, cow pose, lift your tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, rounded spine, Chin to chest, gaze to your belly button. As you inhale into your cow, press the shoelace side of your feet down into the mat. On the exhale, tuck the toes, round the spine, send the belly button to the ceiling, chin to your chest. Really ground down through the palms here. Inhale, untuck the toes, shoelace side presses down, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On the exhale, tuck the toes, rounded spine, gaze to your belly button as you hollow out the chest. Inhale, cow, top of the feet presses into the mat. Exhale, cat, rounded spine, tuck your toes. One more time. Landing in a neutral spine with the toes tucked, heels over the toes. Start to walk your hands back towards your knees, the hips towards your heels. Come up onto the fingertips, lifting the palms of your hands up off of the floor. I've heard this referred to as cupcake hands, as if there's a cupcake beneath your hands, and you're trying not to smush the icing. Stay right here if you're feeling comfortable and this is where you'd like to be today. Otherwise, as you press down through the fingertips, take a big inhale, draw the knees towards your chest, lifting them off of the floor. On an exhale, lower the knees back down, slowly with control. Big breath in, draw the knees towards the chest, ribs towards the knees. Exhale, lower. Big breath in, lifting the knees, draw them in close. Staying up onto the toes, heels are lifted. Exhale, lower with control. Resisting the floor. Big breath in. Slow breath out. One more time. Start to walk the hands back to your tabletop. Shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Take a few more cat and cows. Let that go. Stretching out through your front body on the cows. Lifting up to the back body on your cat. Find stillness in the tabletop. Bring the left hand slightly beneath your face. Reach the right fingertips up high on the inhale. Open your chest up to the right side of the room. Shoulders stack above one another. Bend at the elbow. Bring the right hand to the back of your head. Open up a little further. On an exhale, bring the right elbow down to touch the left elbow. Big breath in, reach the right elbow up towards the sky. Open up the heart to the right side of the room. Exhale, bring it back in. Right elbow to left elbow. Big breath in, open up. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, close it up. Last time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, elbow to elbow. This time, as you breathe in, reach the elbow up. Straighten the right arm towards the ceiling. Take a full cycle of breath here. Lower the right hand onto the mat. Take a few gentle cat and cows. Let that side go. Following your own rhythm of breath. Landing in neutral. Bring the right hand towards the center of your mat, beneath your face. Big breath in, lift the left fingertips high towards the ceiling. Bend at the elbow, let the left hand find the back of your head and open up a little bit more. With a slow exhale, left elbow meets the right elbow. Big breath in, lift up the elbow. Open the heart to the left. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Last one. This time, as you reach up, extend the left fingertips high, stack the shoulders. Big breath here. Let it go. Slowly release the left hand onto the mat. Return to your tabletop. Maybe this time just taking a few sways from side to side. Bringing one shoulder to your hip and then the other. Find some stillness. Tuck the toes behind you. Start to walk the hands towards the knees, coming up onto your fingertips. Stay here if you like this position, or you can lift the knees up, coming up onto your toes. Walk the fingertips in a little bit closer. Maybe you choose to stay right here, keeping a straight spine to the best of your ability. Or you can bring the fingertips up onto your thighs. Take a full cycle of breath here. Stay with the fingertips on the thighs, or bring the hands to heart. Keep the heels lifted. Full breath. And staying here, going back a step, or reaching up towards the sky. Really balancing here on the toes. Fingertips are reaching up, spine is straight, belly button draws in to support your low back. One more full breath here. As you exhale, hands to heart. Full breath here. Lower the hands to the mat. And then lower the knees slowly with control to the ground. Walk the hands in front of you. Return to tabletop. Belly button draws in towards the spine. Reach the right leg long behind you. Tuck the toes and lower them onto the mat. Press down through the right heel, stretching through the back of your right calf. It's as if you're trying to step your right foot onto the mat here. You can play with the weight from the big toe mound to the pinky toe mound, at the same time pressing your heel to the ground, and just notice where you feel the stretch most. Pausing there, offering it a few breaths before moving on. Shift some weight forward, shoulders over wrists. Turn the toes to face the right edge of the mat. Step forward to the top right corner of your mat. Take as many steps as you need. Just pausing here in a lizard pose for a breath or two. Reaching the left leg as long as you can behind you, but you can have as much bend as you need in the knee. And then we're going to heel toe the right foot through center. Try to have the right knee stacked above the ankle. If you notice the right knee is reaching beyond the toes, it could be a sign that you need to extend your stance. So like lengthen the left leg long behind you. The feet are about hip distance apart. So just avoid being in a tightrope position where everything's down the midline. Creating a little bit of space between the inner arch of the right foot and the inner left thigh will help support your balance. Stay here with the hands on the floor, or you can bring the hands up onto the right knee, lifting up. Think about squeezing the inner thighs towards one another as the outer hips reach out and back. From here, inhale, reach up. Legs stay active. The front of your left thigh is squeezing up into the thigh bone. Take a big inhale. Maybe you lift up just a little bit as you reach to the sky. On an exhale, bend at the elbows like football goalpost, capital L shape as you sink deep into your lunge. Big breath in, lengthen up. Maybe you lift up just a little from the lunge. Exhale, lower. Bending the elbows. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Sink it deep. Pull it nice and low into your lunge. Arms parallel with the floor. 2 more. Last one. Landing deep in your lunge. The bend in the elbows, heart is open to the front of the room. Big breath in. This time as you exhale, draw the elbows to meet in front of you, palms come to touch, or they're heading in that direction. Inhale, open up, stay deep in your lunge. Exhale, arms come in front. Big breath in. Slow breath out, keep your belly button drawn in, protect your low back here. This is a long time to hold a lunge. Inhale, open up. Exhale together. One more time. And close it up. Open up. Reach up. Maybe a gentle back bend. And then bring the hands to frame the front foot. Walk the hands back towards your hips as you straighten your front leg. Keep the hips slightly lifted. You're welcome to sit down onto your heel, but that's not necessarily the end goal of this pose. Think about drawing the tailbone away from the top of the head. Keep a straight spine. You can always bring your fingertips up onto blocks if that helps you keep a flat back. Without actually moving the right foot, think about drawing the right heel towards the back of the mat, but it's firmly rooted into the ground, resisting that pull. Folding forward slightly over the right leg, hips are square. We're looking for a stretch into the back of the right hamstring, the right thigh. If you're feeling this in the low back, it could mean that you're trying too hard to touch your forehead to your chin. When we start to round through the back, we feel this stretch in our low back instead of the leg. So really focus on straightening the spine, reaching the tailbone away from the top of the head. Walk the hands forward to frame the front foot. Bring the right hand to the inside of the right leg. Heel toe, the right foot to the outer edge of your mat. Take another few breaths here in your lizard pose, option to come up onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. And then slide the right foot back to meet the left. A gentle sway from side to side with the hips. Find some stillness. We'll move to the opposite side, so extend the left leg long behind you. Tuck the toes as you lay on the left foot onto the mat. See if you can level up the hips here. So notice if your left hip is lifting up, exposing the front of your left hip to the left side of the room. Lower it down as if you're going to place a plate or a wine glass on top of your pelvis. From here, start to press down through the left heel, bringing a stretch into the back of your left calf. And try bringing some weight into the big toe mound. See if that increases the stretch. It's as if we're trying to touch the entire sole of the foot onto the mat, including the inner arch of the foot. It's quite likely that that will not happen. It's just the direction that you're pressing your foot. Again, just focusing on squaring the hips. Maybe lowering the left hip just a little bit towards the mat. Shift some weight forward, turn the toes to face the left. Bend the left knee, step forward. Top left corner of the mat, take as many steps as you need. The right leg is extended long behind you with as much or as little bend in the knee as you like, as long as the right knee is behind the right hip. Taking just a few breaths here, transitioning slowly between poses. And then heel toe, the left foot through center. Staying with a bit of a wider stance, supporting your balance. Decide if you'd like to just stay here with your hands on the floor. You can bring them up onto the left knee. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another, outer hips reach out and back behind you. Active through the glutes, through the right thigh. Stay here or reach the fingertips towards the ceiling. Big breath in to lengthen. On the exhale, sink the elbows down low. Elbows in line with the shoulders, parallel with the floor. You know where we're going from here. So on the inhale, we're reaching up with the fingertips, maybe coming out of the lunge ever so slightly. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Elbows drop. Big breath in. Slow exhale, lowering back down with control. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Last one. Sink down low and hold. Just checking in here, making sure you're still active through the legs. We're not just sinking down and dropping into our hips. Squeeze those inner thighs towards one another. Outer hips reaching out and back. And think about drawing the right thigh muscle up into the bone. Take a big inhale, open through the chest. On the exhale, elbows and palms meet in front of you. Big breath in, open up. Exhale, bring it together. Inhale, open. Exhale, together. Inhale, open. 2 more. Exhale, together. Inhale. Last one, follow your breath. Slowing the breath and slowing the movement. Pausing with the arms open. Big breath in, lift it up. Maybe that gentle back bend here. Keep the belly button pulled in towards the spine, support your low back. And then exhale, frame the front foot. Walk the hands back to meet the hips. Coming up onto the left heel. Flat back as you start to fold forward over the left leg. Draw the left toes towards the left shin. Think about sending your left hip towards the back of the mat, with the left heel so firmly rooted it's resisting that pull. And rather than sending your left hip towards the right heel, think about sending the right hip towards the right heel. Instead of trying to touch your forehead to the shin, think about reaching your belly button beyond the knee. Avoiding a cat-like back. Walk the hands forward to frame your front foot. Both hands to the inside of the left leg. Heel toe, left foot to the outer edge of the mat. And just take a few breaths here in your lizard. Option to lift the inner arch of the left foot off of the mat, coming onto the pinky toe edge. Come back onto the sole of the foot, lift the hips slightly as you bring the left foot back to meet the right. Landing in your tabletop, walk the knees back a couple of inches, find a modified plank. Belly button draws up towards the spine. Squeezing the inner thighs towards one another as the hips draw away from each other. Big breath in to lengthen, and as you exhale, lower with control. Let the elbows grace the ribs, resisting the floor, and then lowering all the way down. Palms are on the floor beneath the shoulders, fingertips slightly beyond the shoulders. Draw the elbows in towards your ribs and back towards your heels. Press down through the shoelace side of your feet, reach through the big toes. Take a big breath in as you lengthen through the spine, lift up the collarbones and maybe 1 or 2 ribs off of the mat. Cobra pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, lengthen and lift. And hold your cobra. So really press down through the feet here. The knees should be lifting up off of the mat. Legs are active all the way up through the thighs, through the hips and the glutes. Little to no weight in the hands. You should be able to lift them up here and still have your chest lifted off of the mat. They're just there as a bit of a balance, and a little bit of support. Looking to build up some strength in the low back, and holding the pose but not your breath. Try really focusing on lengthening the inhales and exhales here. One more big breath in. As you exhale, lower down, press through the palms, come up through tabletop. Send the knees out wide to the edges of the mat, big toes come to touch. Hips go back towards your heels. Slide the fingertips away as you lower your forehead onto the mat or onto a block or pillow. Landing in a child's pose. You can let this be as active or as passive as you like. For active, press down through the hands, lifting the elbows off of the mat. Creating as much distance between the fingertips and the tailbone as you can, while drawing the ears away from the shoulders away from the ears. For more of a passive child's pose, release the elbows onto the mat, letting go of all effort from the arms. Either variation, breathing space into your back body. As you breathe in, find space through the low back. As you breathe out, allow it to soften. Big breath into the low back, the pelvis, the hips. Exhale, let it go. Big breath in, this time to the mid-back, creating space, expanding in all directions. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to the mid-back. Exhale, let it go. Big breath into the upper back between the shoulder blades. Exhale, soften. As you breathe in, feel the shoulder blades drawn away from one another. Exhale, soften. This time breathing into your entire back body as a single unit. Exhale, release it. Big breath in, the entire back body expanding in all directions, taking up space. As you exhale, soften. Continue with that deep breath into your entire back body. Each breath in, creating space in your body. And each breath out, releasing any last remaining tension you may be holding on to. Remaining here in your child's pose or taking Shavasana at any time. Just offering yourself a few more breaths, a few more minutes here on your mat. And taking as much time as you have available to you to surrender to this stillness. And with such gratitude for you joining me in this mini practice. Namaste.